Hey, how y'all doing, people? I'm just gonna be giving a response and my 2 cents onto the whole Shanny and Rev thing. Little backstory. I actually found out about Shanny and Rev probably about 6-7 months ago through Dragnot. You know, if you don't know who he is, go on his channel and like and subscribe to his videos. The guy's pretty funny and everything like that. I personally like him, but recently, I don't know what we would call this saga. I guess we can call this the CPS saga, which is the recent events that's been going on between Shanny and Rev. Rev got arrested a few weeks ago for attacking one of Shanny's kids, and he ended up going to jail. He was supposed to get bailed out like a few days later. I think he called his uncle to send Shanny some money. I think it was like $500. But she ended up spending some of that money on herself, and then I guess she somehow got some money later on, I guess through her fans or whatever, e-begging or, you know, doing her fucking chat room stuff, and then was able to get Rev out after that. So a few days after Rev got released from jail, CPS got involved. They saw that the kids were malnourished. They also saw that Shanny was, of course, morbidly obese. I think, I think she said that she's about 600 pounds. So CPS put 2 and 2 together, and they actually did the right thing by taking away the kids. Because, I mean, there's really no reason for, the kids to be malnourished if you're stuffing your face in and gaining, ended up being up to 600 pounds. But Rev is pretty much in the hot seat for sure when it comes to Shanny. The video that I copied was, I was able to screenshot it, or not screenshot it, but screen record the video before Shanny and Rev deleted it. If some reason, because you know how YouTube is, how unpredictable they are when it comes to taking down videos and giving people strikes. If that video gets taken down, you can find a copy of it over at XX Archive, and also like and subscribe his or her channel as well. So, anywho, Rev basically got in trouble for talking to sex workers online, through Facebook to be more specific. These girls who happen to be trolls were like messaging him saying like, hey, for this amount, I'll give you sex and all this other crazy stuff. And he claims that he was quote unquote trolling these women, but it seems to be the only excuse someone in that situation can really come up with. Would I blame him for cheating on Shanny? The way she treats him? No. The reason I have an issue with Shanny is because she's a full-blown narcissist. I mean, her and Rev both. But defending Rev on one thing, Rev was basically begging Shanny to, not leave him, don't break up with me, don't leave me, and all this other stuff. So Shanny on it's actually one of the videos is on Dragnot's video. It's the one where she's wearing like the blue, and it's actually the video where Rev shaves off his head, his eyebrows, and his beard. And then after he does that, Shanny takes a marker and actually writes an A on top of his head for adulterer, and basically giving him a mark of shame. Why is Shanny so, Shanny's also got a history of talking to other guys behind Rev's back, and in fact, Chris, her ex-husband, who I think is a pretty cool dude. I actually went on his live stream last night when him and this, I'm sorry if I forgot your name, but they were talking about like the Elder Scrolls and, Fallout and, just video games in general. But, Chris seems like a pretty cool guy, but he was actually Shanny's second husband. So he was the first stepfather towards Shanny's kids. And while they were married, Shanny was also at least emotionally cheating on Chris with Rev behind Chris's back, talking to him on the phone for hours at a time and all that other hocus pocus. But now, since Rev is kind of doing it to her, now she's getting pissed off. And the reason she's freaking out so much about it is because she knows to some extent that it's not going to be very hard, even for someone like Rev, to upgrade from Shanny. And I really hate using that term, you know, upgrading or basically putting a number on people, because, you know, at the end of the day, nobody wants to feel like they're below everyone or below everybody. The reason I don't really have so much sympathy towards Shanny is just because of who she is, you know. If she was actually nice and she wasn't, you know, she didn't act the way she acted at all, you know, myself and pretty much everybody else wouldn't say anything about her weight or her appearance or anything like that, or no one would be going around calling her a fat pig. Because, I mean, that's what she is. She is a fat pig. You know, she's chauvinistic. I mean, she puts herself before anybody else. I mean, she didn't really give a shit about these kids. I mean, she used them as basically props for her own bait for sympathy, you know, like, you know, so people kind of can be like, oh, this poor mother is going through so much and she's got these kids and everything like that. But she doesn't really care about the kids. I mean, just from what I've seen, I don't think she does. Rev doesn't either, but I guess who do I feel more sympathy for? It'd probably be, you know, to an extent, I probably have just a tiny bit towards Rev. You know, do I have any towards Shanny? No. Rev, you know, a little bit. Because after Shanny made him shave off his eyebrows and his hair and his beard and basically put the marker on his head and everything like that, and she said, hey honey, come have everyone look at you and, you know, get in front of the camera, you know, let people see what you look like now. And he does, and I swear to God, I don't know if y'all seen those videos or those commercials about, you know, adopting stray animals, adopting abused animals and stuff like that, where they show like the sad doggy, you know, that looks like he's malnourished and everything like that. That's what Rev kind of reminded me of when he pulled in front of the camera. He looked like an abused dog. You know, that's the really only thing I can really say about it. Yes, I've been guilty of making fun of his haircut. You know, I would see him with that hairdo of his, and I would think I'd be watching Sling Blade. You know, I'd be waiting for him to say, like, you know, get any biscuits for sale in there? You know, maybe some French fried potatoes? You know, because he kind of does look like Carl from Sling Blade with that haircut of his now. But, anywho, recently what I've seen about Rev was he's now starting to try to, I guess, please a new community with this new anarcho-communism thing that he's coming up with, where he wants to, like, overthrow the government, take out jails, take out prisons, because he's saying that these jails and prisons are full of, you know, like black people and Hispanics and everything like that. So he's trying to come off as a white ally to basically gain a new kind of audience. You know, where people would automatically say, "Oh wow, you know, this white guy right here, he's so woke and everything like that. You know, he's so, you know, he's on our side. You know, we should go support him." You know, Rev doesn't give a fuck about anyone but himself. He's just using that to basically pull people's heartstrings. When Shanny and Rev do something good, it's only for their benefit. You know, they never will do anything good for anybody else. Just for the sake of just being good. They want something out of it at the end of the day. But going on to the whole relationship between Shanny and Rev, I was about to end this video, but I just thought of something just now that I which would have made me have to redo this video. I think to an extent the reason some of us do feel sorry for Rev to a certain degree as far as what he's dealing with from Shanny, is because I think most people out in the world has dealt with someone like Shanny before. Maybe not to that level, but maybe pretty close to it, you know. And I myself have been in a relationship with someone who was just like Shanny, you know, narcissistic, abusive, and, you know, Rev, I mean, she pretty much, you know, basically mentally constructed him to be submissive and basically put it in his mind where it's almost kind of like he's still that fat, nerdy kid that he was back when he was in high school. Because as far as I remember, he lost his virginity to Shanny and I think he was like, what, 27, 28 at that time. So I think he has a fear that if he leaves and loses Shanny, no one else is going to be with him. Which I don't think is fully true. I think if Rev actually kind of like, changed his attitude a little bit, got himself a job and, maybe even got himself a studio apartment, on his own, got himself a little bit more confidence, I think, he could probably, easily upgrade from Shanny, which I don't think is really hard to do. And I think that's what scares Shanny a lot, is that Shanny knows that Rev would probably have a better chance on finding someone better compared to her, who would, probably take her a long time before any man would actually get with her. In fact, the only man that probably would get with her is probably a inmate that's probably near her local jail that's going to need a place to stay. And, but it's not going to be a real relationship. Her relationships are going to be mainly about someone needing her, not necessarily somebody wanting her, Because, there's some thirsty men out there that probably would sleep with Shanny, but that's very few and far between. Don't get me wrong, there are some girls out there that can be big and, still get their groove on. Shanny's not one of them. But, like I said, I don't want to get too far into the whole shallow shit. I'm really not one to talk, but other than that, I just wanted to kind of give my 2 cents on the whole thing, and, I haven't really done a video in a while, so I figured, why not? Why not, at least, try to make 1 video a week. And if y'all like it, I'll, try to make some more. But other than that, I will leave y'all to y'all's day. Bye.